Hey, welcome to K&K Speaks. I am Katie Shaw, and
I'm Rebecca Booth.
guess what?
What?
Be very, very quiet. We're hunting bullies today. We're talking about bullying. Ooh, a very, very big subject, very debatable subject.
You're just out to make my blood pressure just like
I know, but what doesn't piss you off?
my dogs.
Well, sorry. Anyway, so bullying has been going on for like
Eons.
probably cavemen. I don't know. Maybe
they
like
would just-
cavemen were like, and like threw the rock at their like person's like toe. I like.
I think it was like a. I can't.
I think it was like just threw a rock on his toe.
I think it was more than that. I think it was a whack across the head.
Probably like look at your toe.
Club. That's the word.
Club, yeah, club, rock, whatever, poke. So it's been like around forever, right? I personally have been bullied, kid, teen, middle school, adult. Experienced a lot.
1000% bullied over here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think to be honest, it would be really hard not to find a person that probably hasn't experienced some kind of like bullying, whether you would want to call it bullying or, like someone like really giving you like a hard time. And you just are like, yeah, whatever, So basically, what is bullying? Many of us kind of throw that term around, but I'm like, okay, we better probably define what is bullying. And the Anti-Bullying Alliance says bullying is the repetitive, intentional hurting of one person or group by another person or group where the relationship involves an imbalance of power. What do you think of that definition?
An imbalance of power. How is it an imbalance of power between two children?
I don't know. Maybe the one person is feeling that they are more powerful than the other person they're trying to bully.
I'll have to stew on it.
Yeah, I don't know. So, again, your thoughts on that definition, but that is from the Anti-Bullying Alliance.
Is it a real website or is it like Trump University?
I Googled it.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Is that still even floating around out there?
No, gotta take it down.
So I just Googled it, so probably not then.
Okay.
Okay. And if it was coming from Trump University, that would be quite a stitch, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So bullying can come in many, many forms. So physical, verbal, psychological, people are creative, could come in a lot more other ways, so.
Yeah, social media doesn't help that situation. That's a whole other.
Yeah, so like, I always be like, in my day, but like it has, like comparatively, like I'm not gonna say my age, but you can probably guess,
40.
close up, I put some makeup on today, but like close up. No, don't really zoom in, Jake. Okay.
Jake's like, okay.
No, please, no. But seriously, we didn't have like computers weren't even a thing when I was like in elementary, middle school. Like senior year, junior, senior year was when like the internet computers like.
You never played Oregon Trail on an Apple IIe
No, it was like
with two like 10-inch discs?
no.
I'm older than you.
We like okay. I learned to type on typewriters, electric typewriters. Yeah, but I think that was like the best thing ever to do because I'm an excellent typewriter.
You must have had it been in a very small school district.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Anyway, and so like in elementary, it was very much like verbal. I didn't really have any physical, but it would be like the taunting. And then compare it to now, like, holy smoke-a-doodles, you know? Like, it just blows my mind when I hear stories.
Yeah, like sextortion.
Like, everything. I mean, there's more and more stories that come out, and it just continues to blow my mind. Or what kids are saying to other kids, even in person
Revenge
at
porn.
school. Yeah, I mean, there's seems to be no limits anymore. So, how bullying is handled now? Some good, some bad. I think in some instances it's just ignored and not
By
handled
who?
at all.
Oh, the adults.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say, like, if like a kid is coming and saying I'm being bullied, and saying, hey, this is going on, and trying to get help about it. Oh, they're messing around. It's
They
fine.
like you.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
okay for
they're
boys to
just messing
push you.
around, whatever. And even like in a work environment, I feel like if you would say, hey, like, here's an email that this person sent, or hey, they're doing this like in passing, I feel like it's just not taken seriously.
I think workplace bullying and harassment is like at a whole different level because like there is a power differential, and then I have experienced workplace bullying, and I didn't say a thing because I didn't want to lose my job and go through that whole
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So I just
Well, I've had it same level, where
Manager to
it's
manager?
Yep,
Yeah.
manager to manager, and it was just unbelievable. And I felt like I wasn't heard for a long time, and I just kept saying, "See, see, see," and it went on for months. And I mean, it caused me to contemplate leaving. But again, there was times where I'm like, well, nothing's getting done, I guess I'll have to look for another job, but that's not an answer either. So we look at kind of what's going on at the current state. So when the behavior happens, like, oh, Johnny said, like, oh, look, here comes the cow, so we kind of focus on the behavior right now. And so we kind of use the imagery of the iceberg, right? And behavior, and looking at behavior. So Johnny's saying, oh, look, here comes the cow. It's what we see of the iceberg above the water, right? But there might be a humongous chunk of ice underneath the water that we're not even seeing.
just waiting for the Titanic.
So what is causing Johnny to say, oh, here comes the cow?
Yeah, what's happening
Right?
to Johnny at home?
Why is Johnny saying that? What has occurred to make Johnny feel like he needs to be doing that?
Power
Right?
and control.
So I don't feel like we have been looking at really the psychology or the causes of bullying. We're looking at the here and now, fixing the problem now, which, yeah, that does need to happen. But in order to really look at resolving the bullying pandemic, I would say, we need to look at the psychology and the cycling of bullying. And so I don't know if this is like trademarked or anything, but I like to term it the birth of the bully. What has caused this person to get to this point? And I think that when I was preparing for this, one of the easiest ways to kind of explain what may have been occurring in a person's life, because there's just so much that leads a person to feel like they need to do that. And so I felt like, well, maybe the easiest way to explain this is what we providers call as ACEs. So it's the ACEs stand for Adverse Childhood Experiences. So I went on the CDC,
A
good
trusted
website.
website.
Yeah, trusted website, not the Trump University website. Because who knows what they would probably say ACE stands for, but
Ace Flyer, top 5-star.
Charlie Brown, whatever. So it goes through, and basically it has accumulated what some experiences that could happen in a person's life that could result in significant impact in a person's life that would basically kind of follow them or impact behavior. So some of these papers, so some of these ACEs could include let's see, families experiencing caregiving challenges related to children with special needs. So disabilities, mental health issues, chronic physical illnesses, children and youth with few or no friends, or with friends who engage in aggressive or delinquent behavior. Families with youth caregivers or single parents, families with low income, families with caregivers who were abused or neglected as children themselves, families with caregivers who have limited understanding of children's needs or development, families with high conflict and negative communication styles, families with inconsistent discipline, low levels of parental monitoring and supervision, families with adults with low levels of education, community risk factors. So it's not just like parent blaming here, okay? Communities with easy access to drugs and alcohol, high unemployment rates, high rates of poverty, limited educational and economic opportunities, high rates of violence and crime. So let's see. So basically what the adverse like childhood experiences, so like if the child like themselves experience, they experience violence, abuse, neglect, they witness violence in the home or community, having a family member attempt or die of suicide. So this is like their environment, so like home or community. So like if they don't feel a sense of safety, stability, or bonding. So if there's
Maslow,
Yeah.
bottom tier of Maslow's pyramid.
Right. So if there's substance use problems, if there's mental health problems, if there's instability due to parental separation, so if they're having to go back and forth maybe between homes.
But that doesn't always, like, we should add a caveat to, like, sometimes parents can divorce and co-parent
Yeah.
and everything's, like, great.
Yeah. So these are just kind of some examples.
Yes.
It's not that,
for sure thing.
it's a for sure thing. So I was just using the ACEs to try and explain some possible background of causes.
Do you know how the ACEs were developed?
Tell me, educate me.
Do you want to get mad?
You're the one that gets mad all the time. I can.
I'm frustrated. I get easily frustrated
Go
about
ahead and educate
about everything. It was developed Kaiser Institute in California was doing some things, and they were wondering why obese women were unable to lose weight. And then they decided to look at their background.
Yeah.
Old white guy.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
No offense to the cis males helping us today. I'm assuming. I shouldn't assume. I'm just gonna go crawl in a hole and die now.
Okay. So those are kind of some examples of why there might be a development, right? So there's some not great stuff happening. all right, and development. So we know, especially in development between the years of 0 to 4 years, that is like critical. That's oh my gosh, that's like your foundation making,
Yeah.
right?
You're like a sponge, like a
Yeah.
super sponge.
Yeah. So if we have some not great things happening during that time, that's really going to affect development, emotional development, bonding. If we're having constant caregiver turnover, so if we get tossed from grandma to mom to dad to uncle, that's going to be really effective. If
Effective?
effective on the
Oh,
person.
got you.
Sorry.
I'm flying. I'm following now.
Yeah. If the person is abused themselves, if they are experiencing abuse, this is probably one of the most common things, I guess, to look at the background of a person that is bullying, I guess, is that they may feel that they're not in control of a lot of things in their life. So, again, the psychology of it. So, if they're being abused themselves, if there's instability at home for the number of reasons I kind of gave examples of, if, I'm just trying to think, more examples.
Of aces? Of what?
Yeah, aces. Anyway, so if the person is just going through a lot of that stuff, so they're just trying to find something that they could have control over. And so they kind of target someone that they feel as vulnerable, that they can basically kind of manipulate, have that, control over.
Yeah, they have like less than behaviors.
And so they focus on that and the vulnerability, and that's what they kind of focus on and put their emotions towards. And so that they try and get some kind of gratification through it because of what they may be experiencing in their life. Unfortunately, sometimes it's a cycle. Sometimes it's parents or somebody in their life is bullying them, and so they in turn will bully someone else. So again, I think we really have to understand the psychology of it. Yes, we have to take care of the current, but I think we have to understand the background. When my oldest son has come to me and has said, "Mom, I'm having some issues with some peers. What should I do?"
I'll come up there.
I know you'll come in there like a wrecking ball. Like, I know. We've already gotten through that.
I'm available.
But I kind of sit him down and say, okay, well, like, what's going on? And I try and explain, well, maybe there's some stuff in their life that is not going well, and maybe that's the reason, because he's not understanding why. Why are they doing what they're doing? And I said, it's probably nothing, it's obviously nothing you're doing. It's obviously something that might be going on in their own life. And so I try and explain it like that to him for him to look at it more that way. And to how to respond. I know people say and give advice on how to respond to it in so many different ways.
Yeah, sometimes inappropriately.
Yeah. And it's very unfortunate because you see these videos and TikToks and stuff like that. Just recently, I saw a TikTok where a mom posted that there was an adult that drove some teenage kids over to her house to bully her children. And so the adult was driving the car over there. And then, so the adult was involved in the bullying. And I think that is just so disgusting. So I think the response for bullying, I can't sit here and give you answers because each situation is going to be different. each person themselves is going to be different. The person that's bullying is going to be different. The circumstances are going to be different. The environments are going to be different. So I can't sit here and give you a blanket like, oh, well, if you do this, this will handle that. I can't sit here and do that, unfortunately. I just wanted to talk more about trying to understand the background and why this happens and why we need to kind of look at the background more so.
Right, but it's still not fair to the person who's getting bullied,
No. It's
regardless
not.
of the background.
Yeah, and it's not okay that it's happening. So just because this person that is choosing to do these behaviors may be experiencing these things, it is not okay. I'm not here saying that these are an excuse for their behavior. No, it's not. Just because you may be experiencing some things does not make it okay for you to take it out on other people and to target other people. So no, it is definitely, that was not, me coming on here, that was definitely not my intent. But to try and understand a little bit more about the cycling and why maybe a person becomes and does the actions that they do. It does not excuse it whatsoever. And so I think probably, it's the hardest thing to do, but just really encourage, if you are experiencing bullying and you're watching this, even from an adult situation like workplace, to try and, it's so hard
It's so hard.
because you want to go off on that person. You want to be
Yeah.
like, I know where you're parking in the parking lots, like.
Yeah. That's why you save all your emails. You have receipts.
Yes. It is so hard. Like I said, I have been through it. It was a really nasty situation. Sometimes don't respond. I know it's so hard. Believe me. Just don't respond. If they're sending you nasty emails, if they're saying nasty things to you, walk away.
Yeah, that takes the wind out of their sails. Actually, it
Not
makes
giving
them
a
more mad.
response is what they're wanting, and what they're seeking. And if you don't give them that, that's going to change things pretty drastically. They may come at you stronger, but they may decrease. But
They'll just bring more people in.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to remove yourself, and sometimes it's just like, so.
Or you text Katie and be like, WTF. That was just me.
No, I think maybe many people do that.
Yes.
But this is not a joking matter, though. But it is an epidemic. It is very heartbreaking that people are taking their lives over this.
Yeah.
And it should not be that case. People are getting so nasty about it, and people that are encouraging people to take their own life, that needs to stop. And that are not taking accountability for doing that and showing remorse for that.
Oh, but
That's
my
not
little
okay.
Johnny could never do that.
But that needs to stop. So, but hopefully trying to understand and look at things from a different perspective, a different lens. I know we didn't get too much into depth about like responses and stuff like that, just because I don't think I could give you a blanket, this is what you would do in this situation. It's so different for each situation, each person. And so if you need help, again, mental health, going to authorities. I know sometimes there's stories where it's not a great response from many people that you try to incorporate for help, but don't let that deter you. So keep trying. So. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please subscribe, pass along to everybody you know in your life, and I mean that, to keep spreading the word. But thank you for tuning in. Continue to tune in to the podcast to see what we're talking about next. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.